Hello, my lovely people. I'm Annaliese, and it is that time. I'm recapping the final deliberation of ANTM British Invasion. Wow, the final deliberation from my season of ANTM. I'm never actually going to be able to say that in another one of my videos, so I thought I would. I mean, this deliberation, it's dense, it's juicy. Since there's only 2 girls left, like, they really go in deep and kind of evaluate the whole performance across the competition. Now, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I suggest you do. I've got lots more content coming your way, so you might as well hit the bell for notifications. And let me know that you're liking this video by giving it a thumbs up. Now, I know you must be distracted by all of this fashion. Outfit check, obviously. This dress, my new favorite dress, it's from H&M, the new Science Story collection. So it's made from like renewable resources, wrist detailing, armpit ventilation, sex appeal. Nah, this is a keeper. Yeah, I know you can't see it properly, but don't worry. I am gonna do an outfit check spring haul, and it will be featured heavily. So it's Laura and Sophie in the final. Now, we all know the outcome, but I still think that there's something quite exciting and interesting about hearing the judges' comments and then analysing it, especially with all that we now know, like in terms of the tension behind the scenes, Tyra's lack of interest, production, basically having the final say-so on everything. So let's just do this. They look stunning.
Lovely ladies representing their countries, the US and the UK.
Yay!
You know our judges, Nigel Barker, noted fashion photographer, Kelly Catrone, fashion PR maven, she is legendary. And we have Mr. J. Manuel. He is the creator
Hey, Mr. J.
Photoshoot, and he is going to help determine who is America's next top model. So let's talk about our prizes.
Do we have to talk about the prizes?
Very real right now. The
So
winner
many.
will receive a fashion spread in Italian Vogue.
What did Sophie
or
get?
Vogue Italia,
She got
and
that.
will appear on Vogue.it. She will have a position as a celebrity guest correspondent for.
She said she got that as well,
She will have
one
a single
segment.
produced by CBS.
And the
She will be
single,
named
she
as
got
the
that.
new face of the America's Next Top Model fragrance.
Fragrance?
Dream come true. She will be offered a contract with LA Models, the
I think
modeling
she
agency
got that.
that I started with many years ago, as well as New York Model Management. And she will receive a $100,000 contract.
Yes,
with
she got
Covergirl
the money.
Cosmetics.
I never saw the campaign, but maybe that's because I'm not in America.
You all look absolutely stunning.
They do.
You were in a Forever 21 fashion show last
was
night. We are going to
Forever
start
21.
with Laura and your performance.
Laura, you look like you were
That
having
tiger.
fun. But you've got to remember to sort of enjoy the moment, but control it.
Laura, for me, your personality is super cool, really rock and roll.
Defo.
And I felt like when I watched you on the catwalk, yes, you were like, hi, look, I'm a nice person.
Oh, Kelly
It
didn't
was really
like
kind
it.
of a forced look.
I continued to hear about this horrid walk that you had. You know, to see you on the runway, I was like, I didn't see the horrible
It wasn't
walk.
horrid.
And, you know, I was like, whoa. And you commanded the stage, and we were like, all eyes were on you, bam. But all eyes were also on that side, smoochy tooch smirk.
I quite liked that.
And it's almost like you couldn't help
I'm
yourself.
holding a
You know,
tiger.
you're feeling hot.
A
and
lion.
then stop
A
it.
stuffed
It's almost like
lion.
you caught yourself. Sophie, you walked in the fashion show for Forever 21 as well.
I thought you were very elegant.
Cute.
Your walk is strong, and you were aware of the audience.
Your body language when you blew the dandelion was genius.
Really?
The top of your
Genius
was like
body
this, and then
language.
your lower half was like bent backwards almost, with the legs going behind you. It was really beautiful.
I don't think she did anything magical.
Especially when you were walking with the samurai sword. I like the fact that you kind of pushed through.
Now it's time to see your Covergirl commercials.
I'm excited.
The candid shots from throughout this cycle.
Want to know what it takes to be a cover girl? Listen up. It's all about being you. Every side of you. Daring to demure, naughty to nice. Be honest, be beautiful, be real. Customize your look to fit your life with new Blast Lipstick from Covergirl. Creamy color on one end, shimmery color on the other. Expertly matched. Now there's a lipstick for the flip side, just like you. New Blast Lipstick from Easy, Breezy, Beautiful Covergirl.
Now, before we hear the judges' comments, my thoughts. I don't know. It didn't look like a real advert that you'd actually see on TV to me. I feel like those additional scenes looked really staged, like super staged. I actually remember the crew asking us to film these bits. We didn't know what it was for, but they asked us to film bits when we were in Hong Kong, like leaning out of the boat window and putting Lippy on in the street. However, there were some candid moments in there just from like filming the season, but overall it didn't really look like a real advert to me. Do you agree? Laura's delivery to camera? I think she's looked prettier in the competition. I don't think like it was awful or anything. I believed her, but I was a bit bored by her. It felt like she was nervous, like there was tension in her mouth. But let's see what the judges thought.
It's actually one of my favorite Covergirl commercials we've done.
Wow.
Between the entire cycle.
Every time
He
you're
likes it.
not actually focusing on the camera, stunning. But when you look at the camera, I see too much of it.
You looked nervous
See too much.
and aware. Your lips almost look like they are paralyzed.
That's what I
like this.
said.
But how beautiful in between.
Do you want to talk to the judges about when we shot your line reads?
Panic attack.
We shot the line reads actually the day after. On the day of the Covergirl shoot, I had my first ever panic attack. I was starting to go into a shaking fit. I was gasping for air.
Oh.
The worst part was the whole time I was just thinking, God, I'm so embarrassed and I'm so upset that I'm making everybody have to do all this work and worry about me.
Welcome to the fashion world. It happens.
What do you think would happen in a non-top model situation with something like that?
The most likely thing is you just be swapped
Yep.
out like that, unless you are
Quickly.
quickly turned into Tyra Banks. Otherwise, I'm afraid you're expendable, and they will swap you out if you're in any major city just like that.
Yes.
Sophie, are you ready to see your Covergirl moment?
Let's see it.
Want to know what it takes to be a cover
I
girl?
like it better already.
Listen up. It's all about being you. Every side of you. Daring to demure, naughty to nice. Be honest, be beautiful, be real. Customize your look to fit your life with new Blast lipstick from Covergirl. Creamy colour on one end, shimmery colour on the other. Expertly matched. Now there's a lipstick with a flip side, just like you. New Blast lipstick from easy, breezy, beautiful Covergirl.
My thoughts? Yeah, I feel like there was a massive difference. I still didn't like those like in-betweeny candid scenes. I don't know, it just didn't feel like a real advert to me, but that could just be because it's like 10 years later and it just looks a little bit outdated. Her performance totally made me smile. I think it was super sweet. Let's see if the judges agree.
Great voice, believable, although I wasn't crazy about all your in-between camera moments. Not like some of Laura's moments where I really believed I was voyeuristically looking at a girl just having fun.
And you're Illuminata, so I expected like to see scenes where you're like just going, you know, kind of at it in a natural but like effervescent way. I didn't see that. But your read was fantastic.
You stepped on set, blew me away. Just even the way you were expertly matched. Everything was just so cute and quirky.
Very
Like a
cute.
little Edie Sedgwick, like after a party for me.
Do you remember when we were
I'm guessing
sitting on
that's
the bed
bad.
the other day and I said, you're the type of girl that if I was your age, I'd want to be your friend. But that girl that I think is so fantastic was not in that Covergirl commercial.
Really?
In the candid moments. So now it's time to see the print ads. We're going to start with Laura's.
Nope, I do not agree. I don't agree at all. I mean, at the end of the day, they were candid moments that production picked. They should have just picked better moments, picked moments where I was looking more glorious or more illuminata, as they were saying. It's almost like, basically they're saying that they liked Sophie's line reads, but not her candid moments. They liked Laura's candid moments and not her line reads. So it's kind of neck and neck. Let's see where it goes with the photos.
And here's your best shot.
What I really love about this shot is you were starting
I like
to feel
it.
the pressure of the competition.
Not her best
but
work.
you cannot see the panic.
I don't really love it. I don't love your shot on the right. Your shot on the left is okay.
You have these beautiful full lips that I relate to as a woman of color, and you have a certain
doing that
sass
tension again,
and
isn't
a little
she?
twinkle in your eye that I like. Okay, Sophie, now it's time to see your best
Quick,
Covergirl double
short and
cover.
sweet.
I love the eyes.
I like
It's
Sophie's
focused,
more.
sharp.
I think it's the
It's looking at
colours.
The glass of the lens. It's looking through
The
it
quirk.
to the person. It's making an actual human contact.
I mean, Sophie, for me, this shot's superstar. You're the hot, cool British model, and you can come in here with pink hair and you can sell lipstick.
Lips are a
Now
little
it is time
thin
for
though.
the judges to deliberate, and when I call you back, I will announce which one of you is America's Next Top Model.
As always, there was a lot of confusing, contradicting comments at panel. Part of me actually thinks that these comments were used or picked by production in order to enhance the idea that any of these girls or either of these girls could have won this competition. And I'm not saying they couldn't. I'm just saying that Mr. J in his chat with Sophie said that the judges were always asked to give positive comments and negative comments, and then it was production that chose which ones made it into the show. Now, since this is the last elimination of ANTM British Invasion that I am covering, I thought I would go into the photos and give my critique. Why not? So let's start with Laura. I don't dislike this image at all. I actually think she looks pretty amazing considering the stress that she was under that day. Like, she literally had a panic attack straight after this shot, right? So she was feeling it throughout this whole thing, and I was really feeling it for her. So in terms of that, she looks great. I think there's something going on with the lips. On that shot where she's making eye contact, I think there's like a glint in the eye which looks pretty and attractive, and it's kind of luring you in. It's very Laura, sassy. But the lips are a little bit tight for me. And like her second image with her eyes kind of closed, I mean, it's not doing much, is it? Whereas if we go over to Sophie's, I don't know. I think it might be the color combination for me, the pink and the purple. The fact that one of her is upside down, I think it gives the photo more of a dynamic. I think she looks adorable. I mean, the fact that the photo that is upside down is the one that's supposed to be eye contact, I think it should have maybe been the other way around. There's a critique there. But I think she looks adorable. She looks young. She looks funky. I think she's selling the lipstick. I did make a comment that I do think Laura may be selling the lipstick a little bit better just because she's got more lip. There's my critique.
America and the UK are head to head right now.
They're head to
And you have
head.
Make a decision. Don't be favoring people that sound like you. And don't be favoring people that sound like you.
You know what actually is really interesting about this deliberation just in general? For the course of this competition, I've never gotten to a point where at the end we have two girls that you really like.
I feel like it's fun
They're
to
very
be
likable.
hard on them and like really kind of call it from the place of a publicist, but I think they've both grown so much and they're incredibly beautiful.
Definitely.
Okay, so do you remember that shoot where they had to style themselves and put
Oh.
everything together?
Way back to the
That
beginning,
was my challenge. I worked with them.
This series of photographs,
where I was the fierce
when they both
leader.
started to stand out for their own thing. You know, there's Laura kicking her foot, attitude. There's where that kind of
Zagalicious.
sort of rock and roll element of her came out. It's like, yeah, whatever.
And Sophie ended up, to me, looking like kind of a modern Kate Moss.
Sophie really came alive on that shoot. She was like Charlie Chaplin's great-granddaughter.
She just doesn't fall into that
Illuminata.
typical lineup of just pretty girls. There's almost this little bit.
But neither does
something.
Laura. One of my favorite shots
True.
out of the whole bunch, where I think when the girls really came alive, was with the Kardashians. There is Laura, upside down,
Yeah.
broken like a doll. For me, I'm like, wow, what can I do with this picture? I want to put this picture in my salon if I had
She
one.
makes noise. She goes out and makes noise.
But who's gonna get booked?
Laura?
Sophie, Illuminata.
Are those Illuminata hands?
I
Illuminata
might pick
hands.
Sophie for a casting before I would
Why
pick
is that?
Laura. Because Laura actually is prettier on film than she is in person.
Do you remember their music videos? Do you remember Sophie was super sexy?
I don't know if I'd call it sexy. Great.
Her hair that day and that silver glitter dress, she was so beautiful. That's when she really won my heart as a model.
I was like, this girl cannot dance. I can tell she has no rhythm. But her presence was so strong. You know, she was like, I can't dance, but it doesn't matter. And I was like, okay, I'm sold too.
So then she sold you.
She sold me.
She's doing my job, isn't it?
Laura was super snarly.
She was a little too snarly.
Hi, I'm Laura. You sig, I zag.
That shoot with the silkworms, not only did Laura bring forth emotion and hold on to her inspiration, but at the same time, she gave interesting pose after interesting pose. Whereas Sophie sat in that shoot and just thought of her
She
boyfriend
still got
cheating
called
on her
before
and
me.
almost wept through it. And, you know, I want someone who makes some noise, someone who is a little unconventional.
Laura, for me, the shot that she got with Nigel up there was unbelievable.
Laura just came alive. One of the things I love about Laura is that she's willing to do whatever it takes to get the
It wasn't my
picture.
favourite shot, Laura.
That's inspirational.
But you said she was so crazy on the sidewalk, you had to sit her down.
It's one of those things where crazy, 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 too much. No, stop, Laura, don't do that. Oh, don't fall off. You're going to ruin the dress. But then I also get the magic.
when the girls came to Toronto Fashion Week, they got to meet with designers.
Toronto.
And just seeing the feedback, people remembered Sophie.
Definitely.
And she did well. And I
She
think
stood
the
out.
fans loved her. I think she had a different look on the runway.
Think she'd win
When
that?
all the girls were here at the beginning of the competition, I didn't really notice Sophie. She was just one of the group. The makeover transformed her. All of a sudden, with the pink hair, she came
makeover
alive.
that
She was like a
she
little light.
picked.
You named her Illuminata, and since then she's shone.
The person who keeps on trying prevails. From a PR standpoint, she was runner-up in Britain. Then she comes here and she wins. It's a great PR story. She's the little engine that could. She didn't give up. She kept going. She has pink hair.
I think Laura would be so much fun as a correspondent on Extra.
I think Sophie is the one. Absolutely, that cute little
I think
English
Sophie
boy.
would be
She's
better.
demure. She's not so over the top. Her energy's not going to freak out a movie star. I guarantee you she'd be like Jude Law's
I bet she'd think I would
I
freak
thought
out
the
a movie
fragrance
star.
of Laura was stunning, absolutely gorgeous, you know, dreamy.
But what's up with the panic attack? Because that does make me nervous.
We've all had moments where we've broken down.
Panic attack is different than like I'm crying and I'm sad or I'm scared.
I mean, there are plenty of people that have panic attacks that work in the fashion industry. She's going to have to find
But
a way
what I
to deal
feel
with
we have is a potential that I haven't seen very often on America's Next Top Model.
Really?
This is someone who is beautiful and real in such a way that it's stunning to watch. And people out there in the business will go the extra mile to make someone like her work.
You know, I actually thought Sophie was just going to come in and ace this competition. And I can't believe how close it's actually gotten, like down to the wire, between Laura and Sophie.
America's Next Top
Neck
Model
and neck.
is either an American or she's a Brit.
Wow, there was definitely a lot in that deliberation running through the whole ANTM British Invasion season. Let me try and break down some of these comments. Now, referring to Laura, Mr. J said that he wants somebody that can make noise. And I get it, definitely makes sense. But I feel like Sophie also makes noise. She's a character, she's got personality too. It's not like you're comparing her. I was gonna throw shade. I won't throw shade and name anyone. And Nigel said that he hadn't seen a potential like Laura's that often on Top Model. Don't get me wrong, I'm not denying that Laura has amazing model potential, but like on the whole time of Top Model, you hadn't seen potential like that? Or like very often? Was that Nigel won this for like 10 plus years? That is definitely a massive compliment. And I thought it was interesting that Mr. J said that Laura would be a really fun extra correspondent. And of course she's super fun, but I don't know if she'd be able to like lead an interview. I feel like she'd be quite nervous. Is that rude? As for Sophie's comments, don't you think it was interesting that for me, I think that Kelly had always been Team Laura and it looked like she flipped. She literally went to Team Sophie in this deliberation. She even said that she would pick Sophie over Laura in a casting because she thinks that Laura looks better in film as opposed to in person. I think that's an interesting comment and I actually agree with Kelly Catrone. To add to that, I would say that Sophie really does light up a room. I wouldn't say that that is Laura's strong point, whereas Laura's film is banging. She also said that Sophie's energy wouldn't freak out a celebrity if she was going to be the extra correspondent. And I totally agree. I think that Sophie would be perfect for extra. But I kind of feel like it was almost shots fired at me because we all know that Kelly would think that my energy would scare a celebrity, right? And Tyra was talking about how Sophie knows how to sell stuff. She's kind of like Excite to Buy. I think that Illuminata and Excite to Buy, we're pretty close. Do you know what I mean? It makes sense. Kelly, of course, loves a great PR opportunity and really saw the value in the fact that Sophie came second on Britain's Next Top Model and then went on to win it. Now, I've said this before, but I will say it again. Both these girls have amazing model potential. In fact, it's obviously not even model potential at this stage. They're both models. In the competition, they were each other's competition throughout the whole thing. I felt like both of them were always called at least top 3. But when it comes to the ANTM brand, it's clear to me that Sophie had to be the winner of this. The drama of the dresses.
The judges have deliberated long.
I wonder how long it was.
Hard. And we've reached a decision. Laura and Sophie.
Dun, dun, dun. Yes, the trains.
What a journey you two have been on. Interesting that you are both allies. in this war. If we think about the history of our two countries here, the US and the
They
UK were at battle during the Revolutionary War. And now the country
Giving us a history lesson.
just like Laura and Sophie. But the battle continues, and only one of you will be America's next top model. Will it be Laura from Scotia, New York, the rocking rebel girl that doesn't zig, but she zags? She marches to her own beat, and the judges love her for that. Or will it be Sophie from Oxford, England, the sweet girl that walks into a room and just lights it up, and people want to be her friend? But there can only be one America's Next Top Model. How do you feel right now, Laura?
My heart is just racing.
Sophie, how do you feel?
I feel like I can't quite connect to how huge it is.
I think this is when both Laura and Sophie gave their speeches to the judges about why they thought they should win America's Next Top Model. I'm saying that because Sophie was talking about it in the chat with Mr. J. And she actually said that she thought she completely messed up the whole situation because she couldn't get her words out and she was crying. She thought she totally messed it up after giving that speech and that she wasn't going to win at all. Potential.
America's Next Top Model is...
We're building this up. It's Sophie! Look how shocked she looks. Oh, I'm so happy for her. Oh, the spirit fingers! So in my last video where I covered the Forever 21 catwalk, at the end of it, when everyone was clapping, Kelly was doing this and I was like, what is she doing? And it turns out that this is a sign for the deaf community, like when clapping, it's basically the same thing. And I remembered that I actually did know that, but it also looks like it's translated into meaning Illuminata too, which is pretty fun. I am here for some spirit fingers.
Amazing. I think that you are going to be a high...
Yes, honey.
You have skills.
I made it this far, you know.
Remember, I did an Instagram live with Laura, so if you want to see how she's doing, etc., you can definitely check that out.
Till the end, I'm not just gonna give up. Just because my face wasn't on the screen this time doesn't mean it's not gonna be on the screen another time.
You're America's Next Top Model.
Win America's Next Top Model. America's Next Top Model! You're America's Next Top Model, so you need American swagger. You need... Yeah,
I got this.
I know it. Yeah, I'm Illuminata. Let's try it. I'm all that. I'm Illuminata. Okay.
Work on it.
Show me what I got. I've been fighting for this for years and years, and I've done it.
The journey.
The countryside. I went for Britain's Next Top Model. I didn't quite make it. I kept on going. I got myself an agency. I kept on working. I came over here. I kept fighting and fighting, and it just shows that you will get there. It is true. I've just done it.
Boom.
This is what it feels like to win. Oh, it feels like. Oh, she's liking it now. I'm a cover girl. I'm in Vogue. I am America's Next.
You are. I would have loved to do a shoot with Talia. And then the set is dismantled around her and she's made to sign this massive contract. And then it's like, poof, it never happened. It was really nice watching that. Unlike the other episodes of ANTM British Invasion that kind of felt more familiar, this one felt kind of new. I think that's because I haven't ever really watched it properly. Also, why didn't we get to see the Vogue Italia photos? It's like they didn't even discuss it. I wonder why they chose to do that. Any thoughts? Now, I've been talking about doing other ANTM videos and I haven't quite figured out exactly what yet, but here are my thoughts. Someone actually suggested this as well. Since I enjoyed so much recapping the Covergirl commercial and of course reciting my lines, I thought that I would chime in on some of the other Covergirl shoots from other seasons of ANTM. So if you have a favourite, let me know which season in the comments below. And of course, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss out on anything. Thank you so much for watching my recap to the final deliberation of ANTM British Invasion episode 13. That's me. I've basically done the whole season now. Okay, I'm lying slightly. I haven't done the trampoline photo shoot. I'm not that keen to do it. The only way I can see me doing it is if Jessica Kobasi does her reaction video, then maybe I'll do a reaction to a reaction again. But yeah, thank you so much. Sit back, relax, binge watch all of my content, and I'll be back soon.